alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Hello. Nice to see everyone here again tonight. Have a great guest, Justin Belmont from Belmont Press. And again, let me go ahead. I'm getting an echo here. Let me go ahead and stop this. There we go. All right, now that I'm not hearing myself. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. But before we bring in Justin, let's go ahead and kick it off with a little video here. Watch your ears. I'm not sure how loud this will be, but hey.
Wow.
Well,
That looks amazing.
I was impressed because it's made in America, right? So everyone likes to hate on America these days. So any little America love we can get, I'm all for it.
That was
So
cool. You did a really good job on that.
thank you. Thank you. So, Justin, thank you for joining me here tonight. Tell me a little bit about what we have going on with the Keshi Smokes the Fox figurines.
It's the figures are something I wanted to do with the first campaign, but I just didn't have the time, and I couldn't find anyone that could do the sculpt, and so it's just something I put on the back burner that I wanted to do later on. And then this other merchandise that I have with the campaign, such as like the poker chip and the keychain and stuff like that. That's all merchandise that I've been working on since the first campaign. And I decided to, just make like this mini fun campaign for anyone who wants to, support me before the second book comes out. So I'm working
Yeah,
on
for
Smokes
sure.
2 right now. So that came out last year, and then this year I got Keshi Dreams to kind of like hold you over until my next campaign. Just something in between. Um,
Yeah, maybe something you could get and put under your Christmas tree or, whatever celebratory thing you want to do. The figures, I was really impressed. Who did you get to do the sculpt?
his name is Oscar. I think he worked in the toy industry or something like that because he really knew what he was doing.
Hmm.
He took my model sheet. If you saw my trailer, there's like you'll see like a computer screen and it shows like the early designs. He like kind of like I don't know. He somehow 3D scanned my model sheet, so it got the same proportions and it like transferred over into the figure for the head. And then he kind of like got the proportions down, and then he did the sculpt. It was kind of pretty cool how he did it. So he kind of did it like digitally at his house. I don't know what program he uses or whatever, but and then I came up with this idea. How about he can hold? What can I do with a figure that doesn't have articulation? You know what I mean? What could I do with that? And
Yeah,
I was thinking, what about removable weapons? Kind of like a Lego figure, how it has like a little peg hole or whatever, and you can put a weapon in their hand.
yeah, yeah.
So, so I
Here, let
asked him, I
me.
was like, "Can you put a weapon in his hand?"
I'm just going to play this real quick
All
without the
right.
sound so we can kind of. We'll turn it down there. Get an idea of what you were talking about with the scans and everything. I think it turned out really great.
Yeah, all the details right here. You
Hmm.
can see. I gave him that model sheet right there in the background,
Yeah, yeah. And he
and
was
it's
just
just a
able to scan that in and kind of come up with this figure.
yeah. And then he changed the position of the hand and gave him like a fist, and then he modified that fist to make a certain size hole for the weapons to fit.
Yeah.
And the weapons are modified weapons that we found online that were free licensed weapons. So he didn't really design them, but he modified them to work with the figure.
Yeah, so he gets was that a rocket launcher there?
Yeah, RPG. Yeah.
Are we gonna get to see Smokes use one of these in the upcoming sequel.
Not the second book, but he will get armed at some point.
So, for those who might not be aware, Smokes the Fox. This is or Smokes was your first comic.
Yeah,
Is
well,
that correct?
double campaign. I had a double campaign, which was Smokes and Weaponized Werewolf, but they're both set in the same universe,
Hmm.
but different time periods, about 15 to 16 years apart.
Yeah, I actually read Smokes first, and then I went back and read Weaponized Werewolf, and it kind of you get a little bit of the background there. And I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who has missed it yet, but yeah, it's kind of felt bad for the mother, I guess, of Smokes, the unwilling mother of Smokes, but. It's an interesting story. Do you mind delving into that a little bit too?
Yeah, well, originally the story was going to be cheesy, where Smokes was a regular fox, and some teenagers were hanging out at a park, and they were hanging out and they were smoking weed, and they threw their pipe behind a tree because a cop was coming. And then the fox later on went behind a tree and sniffed that pipe, and then over a few days he started transforming into this humanoid fox because the weed had chemical in it or something. That was the original origin story, and then I decided later on when I was going to put the comic out that I needed something different. Uh, and that's when I decided I wanted to do kind of like. Are you familiar with Dulce base?
I am not, no, but please enlighten me.
Are you are you familiar with Area 51? Right.
Yes, yes.
Well, they consider Dulce base Area 52. Supposedly, there's this underground base that's on the border of Colorado and New Mexico.
Hmm.
And underneath this base, there's been workers that supposedly said that they've worked there. And there's this floor called Nightmare Alley or Nightmare Hall, they call it.
Oh, good
And it's,
Lord.
and it's like 7 or 8 floors deep below the surface. And there's supposedly aliens doing experiments, like genetic type experiments on unwilling human beings, supposedly.
Hmm.
So they're saying that maybe some of these people that go missing every year, some of it's suicide, some of it's kidnapping, some of it might be, serial killer killing people, but a lot of people go missing. It doesn't add up. They're saying that maybe the government's, taking some of these and, experimenting on them. So I kind of took that lore and put that in my story. So Smokes is a genetic experiment. So is Weaponized Werewolf, and they were created in this lab with human moms
Hmm.
and created for to be like super soldiers. But Weaponized Werewolf is he was powerful, what they were looking for, but he wasn't. He didn't really take orders very well, and he wasn't very intelligent. And then they made Smokes, and Smokes was very intelligent, but he didn't really have the muscle power as as Weaponized Werewolf. So
Or that kind of raw rage kind of thing.
yeah, so there was other animals, hybrids that were in this experiment, which was called Project Minotaur.
Hmm.
And in the secret project, they were just messing around with different animals to try to find the best blend of human and animal to make what they were looking for.
And
And
and the aliens kind of play it off, right? Like they need these hybrids to help them out with a problem that's plaguing their own planet. But
yes,
something tells me, there's a little bit more kind of going on behind the scenes that we might find out later. But I'm not sure. But that's kind of what I was sensing.
yeah. When I talked to Mike, we went over what was going to happen in Smokes. I told him, I wanted Smokes to be in this facility, and then he escapes. And I
Mike
wanted,
Barron, right?
yeah, and I wanted the aliens to be included into the story, and then he ended up adding a second alien race to my idea, and we just kind of just worked off each other, giving each other ideas. You'll see in issue 2 it continues where it left off. I know issue 1 kind of ends abruptly. um, I wanted to make the book longer, but the production wasn't really going as fast as I wanted to, and that's why I made Weaponized Werewolf, because I can have two different artists working on two different books, and I got a lot faster or further along a lot faster. But
Yeah, it was, and you kinda get that different vibe a little bit too, I guess, so you had 2 different artists on,
yes,
let me see, I think it's featured, yeah, so Smokes the Fox here, and I think
yeah, it's a little bit further down.
yeah. Yeah, here we go. I love how brutal that cover is. That guy is just he's not having a good day.
Yeah, that's a Tim Vigil cover. He's known for being very gory, I guess you can say. And,
But I like that you don't really have too much sympathy for him because the jerk shot an eagle, a bald eagle, so it's kinda like, well, he had it coming kinda thing.
yeah, the interesting thing, this scene was inside Smoke's comic, and my editor told me that it wasn't needed and to take that page out. And then I decided to put the page and make it a cover
Mhm.
instead of interior page. And then I made it the cover for Weaponized Werewolf. So
It
that's how
worked
that happened.
out. So is, Mike Baron helping you with, book 2?
Yes, book two's already been written, and then Aldous did the editing. And Aldous doesn't really do word changes or anything, so he was just looking for misspellings and stuff like
Right.
that, and making sure everything sounds right and all that stuff. So I did a couple, word changes, not many, just a few things because there's a couple of things that just didn't add up.
Mhm.
But nothing big. I don't like to change too much. I like to keep, to the original script. So I'm not gonna be like they're changing all this stuff. But there's gonna be just a couple word changes, like last time. Nothing major.
How does that collaboration work with Mike Baron? Do you guys just communicate via, email or, uh, like
Once he's done with the
Zoom?
story, he pretty much wants nothing to do with it anymore after he's kicked it back. Well, I give him like a change or 2, and then after that, it's done, you know what I mean? Once
Yeah,
it's done, it's done. He doesn't wanna me to come back and say, "What if I change this line to this?" It's up to me at this point, like, I make the best call, the best judgment, it's my book, you know what I mean? The ball's in my court, but
right.
I don't like I said, I don't wanna sit there and change every word that he wrote or anything. There might be, like, a couple word changes so, the stories, add up, and I want any plot holes or anything like that, but just a
How
call.
did you come to approach him? Because he's like a pretty
Um
big name in comics, to get that, to get that support on your first book, that's pretty cool.
Mike lives out here in Colorado,
Mhm.
and in November, which is coming up pretty soon, we do the Rocky Mountain Con, and it's a tiny con. We also have the Denver Con, which is the big con. We have over like 100,000 people come every year, but there's this little tiny con called the Rocky Con, and it's in a hotel, just in a little room in this hotel, and it has I don't know 20, 30 tables. Some of them are dealer tables, and then some artist alley, and then they'll have a few pros guests. This year, Mike Barron's coming back, and he's there pretty much every year. And then one year, I decided, I'm going to ask him to write my book. Why not? What do I got to lose? He's going to say no.
Yeah.
If he says no, he says no. So I walked up to him and I was like, "Oh, Mr. Barron, I have this book. It's a pot smoking fox. Would you be interested in writing it? You want me to write that?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, tell me more." So I told him a little bit more, and he's like, "I'm in." And that was it. It was that simple. He just wanted to make sure there was no capes in it. He didn't want to write like a superhero type book or whatever. He wanted
Yeah,
something,
that was kind of his rule when I guess when he wrote for The Punisher, he wanted to keep The Punisher grounded in reality, which I respect that, sticking to his guns, so to speak.
yeah. So that's one thing he said to me. He goes, "No capes," and I was like,
Yep.
"No, no, it's about a pot smoking fox." And then he told me later on, he was born to write this book.
Oh, that's that's awesome. I know, Mike likes to partake every once in a while in the herb, so
Yeah, he does. He's just a funny guy. I always liked his stuff since I got into Mike Barron when he was with Valiant Comics.
Mhm,
So later in the game, after Punisher, so that's how I know him, and I kind of really like the original Valiant stuff.
mhm.
Big fan of that original stuff. I thought they brought a good story and good art, where Image just brought the good, good artwork, but the story was lacking. No one really cared about the characters. They just looked cool.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Valiant had a good mix of both.
It's kinda like those chocolate bunnies that you get at Easter. They look really good on the outside, but they're just hollow and nothing to
Yeah.
them. So that's awesome. Let me jump back to the figure here because I was just looking online. I don't mean to bounce around, but my brain kind of flits around sometimes. Um, so you have two different versions, it looks like, of the figure. You have a 2-inch, and then uh, this green one is that one 4 inches? Yeah, or the blue one.
Just the blue one's the 4-inch,
Okay.
and that one comes in a tin because it won't fit in that little collector's box that I have.
Yeah, and would you mind bringing that up again? Let me go ahead and
Yeah, I
invade.
have. It's a metal tin with a Belmont Press magnet. So the magnet's removable if you don't want to keep it on the tin,
Oh,
and it
that's
holds
nice. I didn't
the.
realize that. I thought that it was painted, so you kinda get a little bit of a twofer there. Very nice.
I got that, and then I got the. Uh,
Yeah, the one that you described kind of like a jeweler's box.
yeah, it's kind of like a jewelry box where you get like a ring or a wedding. You can propose with this, I guess.
Put like
My
a
camera just goes in and out every time I.
oh, that's all good. We're getting some glimpses on there. And
But
then the figures themselves, you had one of the was that the 2-inch figure that you were showing me earlier?
yeah, I haven't printed any 4-inch figures yet. But see if I can get some detail in here. It's really hard to see, but
Yeah, try putting your hand behind it again. We'll see if we can get some of that detail. There we go. Yep.
stays. It just goes blurry. It goes in and out.
Yeah, that's really cool. And you said you had a new printer that you're using who is a lot faster than I guess the first person you were trying to work with.
I believe so. This new guy's using a 4K printer,
Hmm.
and I know there's 8K printers, but I think 4K printers are the second best ones. And I
That's
assume that they're faster too. I'm not, like an expert at the 3D printing, but I know that 4K is higher
yeah.
definition, so you'll be able to get the little small details. He put all kinds of little details. You can't see them in the camera, but when you have the figure in your hand, if you got like a magnifying glass or something, you can see all this detail. Um,
Do you have any of the
yeah,
colored ones?
I have a green one. They're like translucent.
Yeah,
You
so
put
it's
like a
kind of cool.
flashlight through it, you can almost see all the way through it, but
Put your bong behind it. I don't know.
the green one's the most popular.
Hmm.
This camera doesn't do it justice, but when you have it in your hand, when you see it in the light, um,
Yep. When it
but
does
they
kind
came
of,
out they came out pretty cool, and
you could see through his ear too, so that's kind of
yeah,
a
because his
neat little
ear I think is a
aspect.
little bit thinner than the rest of his body, so you can see
Hmm.
through it a little bit better than the rest. But I got everything that's little to fit in these boxes, like a little pin.
Hmm.
Sticker Mule makes these pretty cool pins. See, it just doesn't focus.
Oh, it's coming up. It's like you get 1 millisecond of it.
Yeah, and then it goes out. And then I got these poker chips, and they're like printed with laser or whatever. They're etched into the poker chip.
Oh, so that's nice. You don't have to worry about it kind of scraping off or anything.
It's not a sticker or anything like
Yeah,
that. And then it's double sided. We got the Smokes logo on the back.
very nice.
See it? Man, this damn camera. But
Yeah, and we could see it on
there
the
we go.
site too. So that's
That's the only
that's
problem with
cool.
this campaign is everything's really small, so it's hard to show it. So
Yeah.
everything doesn't look great when you look at it in the camera. But I got the weapons printed, so I already have like 20 figures already printed up.
How quickly can he turn around a figure?
The other guy said it was 8 hours a figure, so I'm
Whew.
hoping faster than that. I think the new guy's got more than one printer too, so he can do two at a time at least.
Yeah, I
So that's
wonder.
why
I've never seen those things work in person. Like, I'm just wondering, do they have like the PVC pellets? Or is it PVC or a different
it's resin.
resin?
It's
And
pretty strong stuff. It's not like you drop them a little bit or something, he's gonna break or something like that. It's pretty
right.
solid. They take about 8 hours to print, and if they move, if you got it on a tray and he moves just a little bit, then you gotta start printing all over again
Oh
because
my
you
God.
the print. So yeah, it was such a bastard that my original guy said he doesn't even want to do them anymore because it's not fun. And then you
Yeah.
have to when you print them, you got to print them with what's it called supports. They have like these supports, otherwise the figure will just fall apart when it's printing.
Oh
So you got
wow.
to give it like when you make a house, you got to have supports for the frame, or
Hmm.
whatever, when you're making it. So you have to do the same thing with these figures. And then once you got the supports, the figure will be surrounded by these supports when they're printed. Then you have to remove the supports. You have to use like clippers. And then when you clip away from the figure, you might get a little small like imperfection because of that support was touching, the figure. So then you have to go in there and like smooth them out or sand them or whatever.
And that's all done by hand, right?
Yeah, and you got to hand sand them, and then you kind of want to do wet sanding because if you do it the other way around, you get that powder in the air, and you're gonna have to wear like a mask or something like that. You don't want to breathe that resin in. That stuff's like poison to your
Like
body.
the old days, we used to just they'd breathe in all sorts of asbestos and crazy stuff like that.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
learned you could do wet sanding, where you get it's just you're using water or whatever, and then there's no like dust in the air.
Kind of like with
So,
tile, like when they cut a tile to keep the dust from going everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. I mean, that really justifies the price, and each one. I could see somebody going, "What? $20 for a 2-inch figure." But, just having you describe that, oh my God, the process, 8
Yes,
hours to
it
make the
takes a while. Yeah,
figure.
8 hours. Yeah, it sounds like we just press a button. Wait, Dan just said he back
Awesome. Thank you
twice.
so much. Awesome.
Dan.
You rock.
Yeah, we spent about 6 months developing these figures, going back and forth, adding more detail to them, making sure all the details correct. Some things are kind of hard to replicate, like he has a uniform, like a Vietnam uniform, and he has like a collar. You can't really print out a collar like that for
Yeah.
the figure because it'll be like too brittle or whatever. It would break. So there's a couple of things that you have to alter to make these figures. But he did a great job on them. And I just asked him, I was like, "Could you make it so you can hold a weapon?" And he didn't really answer me. Then one day he came back and he did it.
It's
He was
like,
able to.
ta-da.
He made it
That'd be
like a
cool. You could
challenge.
do a little, like maybe you could get an accessory set down the road and have like a handgun and trying to think of what else you could have.
I have a knife.
Oh,
It's just a knife. There's this website. I forgot the name of it, but they have STL files, the 3D printer files,
hmm,
and these two weapons that I found were I think they were Lego weapons or something like that.
yeah.
Or some people just make them for fun. They'll make like a mini AK-47 or whatever. And if I see one that has like a peg or whatever, I can have somebody modify it to fit the figure.
Have like a mini
So
gun.
yeah, or whatever. Yeah, someone told me I should get a Tommy gun or whatever. That was a
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
idea.
that would be great.
And I don't know. There's lots of things I could do with it. But no one's ever done that. I don't think. I didn't see anybody, at least not in Comicsgate. Nobody's had a weapon on a Keshi. You know what I mean? On a little figure that doesn't have articulation.
I was going to ask you that. Is that essentially what Keshi means? Because the first time
No.
I heard a Keshi, I think it was through Mandy or PTP. They had like little Keshi figures, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what's the origin and what does it mean?
Um, a Keshi so actually this is not even a true Keshi figure because it's printed and it's not made out of rubber. So
Okay.
that's why I called it Keshi Dreams because I want to make these out of rubber. Like do you remember the Muscle Men
I
action figure?
do. Yeah, I do remember the
Those
little
are
musclemen.
Keshi. That's rubber. Okay, those are made out of rubber. These are made out of resin. But if I got it, I was talking to Eric before. One of these days we're gonna get a cast made, and he's gonna make silicone molds or whatever he does, and we can make these into actual Keshis. So that's why I called it Keshi Dreams. It's my dream to have a Keshi.
I like
But
that.
officially, these are not Keshi because they're not made out of rubber.
I gotcha.
But they are the same size, and they're still cool. And there's stuff you can do with resin that you can't do with rubber. as far as I know, I don't think you can have a semi-transparent or translucent rubber figure. I
That
don't
would
think.
make sense.
I
I
don't think.
do like the fact that you can have the translucent qualities to these figures here. Almost gives it kind of a glow in the dark feel to it. Now, is
Yeah,
that
there is resin that.
something?
Yeah, there is resin that glows in the dark, but it's white,
Mhm,
so the figure would be white. And I heard that it's not as strong, and the printer that I have did not offer that option.
I gotcha.
So I went with the colors. I went online. I looked up the most popular colors, like what people like, what colors. And my favorite color is blue,
Mhm.
and the gray one is standard. So I had to go with the gray, and I thought the gray showed the most detail. And if somebody out there wants to paint one, they'd want to paint the gray one.
Yeah, let me
Just
bring
people out
this
there that
up
like to
here.
that like to paint them little figures.
Yeah, there's some really talented people out there. They do the Warhammer 40K and Dungeons and Dragons, and the painting that they do on these tiny figures is just unbelievable. So I'm sure one of the Comicsgate people out there could accept the challenge and get him all painted up really nice.
Yeah, so he's 2 inches, and then we got the 4 inch one, and that's going to be the translucent blue.
Yeah, let's get down to that one. I think this is the one I would want to go with. And plus, you get that metal tin, which is kind of nice. Now, are they going to be packed with like foam or bubble wrap or?
Bubble wrap. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap the figure in the bubble wrap with the weapons, and then put it in the box, and then in the tin or the box or whatever, and then inside of a bubble mailer.
Yeah, yeah, that's smart. Because I was like, oh man, the way the post office treats packages, it's just brutal. I'd hate to see the poor thing, get shaken to death, and then by the time you get
No,
it
they're pretty
armed or.
strong actually. I already had a box sent to me, but yeah, I'm gonna send out a couple of test runs, make sure everything's right before I mail out everybody's. I'll send out somebody's early or something to make sure, or
Smart.
some mail one to myself or whatever. Yeah, I'm worried about that too. I don't want anybody to get their stuff damaged or anything like that.
Yeah, because the postage is not cheap. These figures are not
No,
cheap. So let's see. We have. I'm looking at the tiers here. Featured bundle, the armory bundle. You get the 2-inch gray figure. It looks like the chip, the poker chip. Is this the keychain
the
here?
pin. You get a
Oh, it's the
pin,
pin.
the mini comic, which is just a prop. It doesn't open up. There's no pages, just a cover. And then you get the poker chip, and you get a stand for the poker chip and a case for it. It's like a airtight. It's called a capsule.
Yeah. Can we
And
bring that up one more time and then look at that, the poker chip, and then also too, if we could try to get that little mini comic. I know we were having trouble earlier getting it to focus, but
yeah, the mini comic. Let's see if
this I was really impressed with.
the mini comic's hard to get. Let me see.
It's like there. Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
there you can see it though when it comes into focus. You can see how I don't know what kind of printer she had, but got all that detail in
I
there.
know it. Like the coloring just looks identical to the comic. It's unbelievable, amazing.
So and then the poker chip. Come on.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like the way he's designed too. He kind of reminds me of like a character
I
you would
can't get it.
see from the 70s or 80s.
What are you familiar with Cerebus?
The comic Cerebus? No, I have
Yes.
not, but I'm going to be. I'm actually going to be doing kind of a review with Narwhal and Jason Sandberg. We're going to be reading a couple issues of Cerberus. So
Oh yeah, he's a big fan of
yeah,
Cerebus, and he told me. I got interested in him a lot later in the game, like in the '90s. But Cerebus has been around since 1977 December, so almost 78. And so yeah, that's why he's got kind of like a '70s feel to him.
that's what
My
you were
my
kind of.
character influenced by Cerebus a little bit with the eyes and the style a little bit. I was big into indies back in the days. Like,
Yeah,
are you familiar with Paul Chadwick's Concrete?
I am not. I have actually just got into comic books because of Comicsgate. So all this is
Oh, nice.
like, yeah, like a child, just discovering all of this great stuff for the first time.
I started collecting comics when I was, I think, 15 or 16. I used to collect baseball cards. Then I went to we used to have to go to the comic book shop though to get the baseball cards. And
Yeah.
then I'd always pass the comic book shelf, the rack. I can't miss that. And then I just noticed the art. And then one day I just became a customer of comic books and stopped buying, the baseball cards.
Yeah, you kind of get a little bit more of a story from the comics versus just all you have is an image with the cards. So I could definitely see the allure of one over the other. So we saw the chip there, the little mini comic, the pen, and this is that's your featured bundle. You have a digital bundle which includes the comics themselves.
Yeah, if you want the digital comics, it's $12. If you buy the figure, you can buy it as an add-on for $8. So it's
Hmm.
it's a discounted rate. And if you want the physical comics, I have them on Fund My Comic.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if that was still available there because that's where I ended up getting my copies of Smokes and then Weaponized Werewolf. So I'm glad that you have that available because with a lot of these campaigns, people find out about it after the fact, and then they want to get in on the action, and then they can't. They have to wait till another campaign. So it's nice that you have that. And do you have your own website as well?
Yeah, Belmont Press Comics, and it will just basically bring you to my Fund My Comic campaign.
Okay.
I'm using the Fund My Comic. What does he call it? Widget.
Is it almost like a web store kind of thing that it's set up?
Yeah, it kind of like brings your campaign over to your website. So it kind of makes your website um, like Fund My Comic. Basically, my page is Fund My Comic extension, I guess you can say,
Gotcha.
something like that. It's a pretty cool feature because it's like now I have like a web store. I'm in seconds without doing much work, copy and
Yeah.
paste. That's it.
I think that makes it really great for the consumer and the creators. So I really like that.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
well,
ahead.
I made two different versions of Smokes. I wasn't sure. I know everybody's going to want the weapon version, but I made a version that doesn't hold a weapon.
Yeah,
Because
where is that? This one here, the great or no?
yeah, the ones that say what's it called, the display edition.
Okay, so does that one just not have
Doesn't have
the
a peg hole
okay?
in his fist. It's basically closed up. So it's basically like a regular muscle man figure or whatever you want to say. I wasn't sure how it was gonna go, but I had a few of those made in case somebody wanted those.
Yeah,
But
you could kind of pitch him as like maybe a fist bump kind of thing.
I was gonna have my guy change the position and maybe change the position for the one that doesn't have a weapon. Maybe change his arm, put it in a different instead of up with a fist, something different. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just made a few of those, so I didn't know how that was gonna go. I might just remove those from the campaign. I don't know.
Any plans in the future, like once you after you launch the Smokes the Fox 2, are you going to have any other characters featured in the Keshi, I guess, format?
If I do another one, it would be weaponized werewolf.
Hmm.
I've
That
already
would be a
talked to him
fun.
about that.
That'd be a
Yeah.
really fun one. Would you have him kind of like in that pose that he is on this? Let me get back down here to where he is on the comic. Let's see. Here we go. Maybe something where he's like reaching out, looking like he's
Yeah,
gonna
it'll be
jump you.
something. Yeah, it'll be something like that. It wouldn't be holding a weapon, I don't think, or anything like that. It'd just be
Yeah.
like we'll see. I wasn't sure how this was gonna go. I was originally just gonna work on both and make the Keshi campaign both weaponized werewolf and smokes, but it took so long to develop the one figure that I didn't want to spend more time on another one, and wasn't sure how it was gonna go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
And the with your goal, I mean, does that at least give you enough cushioning and everything to where um, you could kind of parlay that into the next campaign or anything like that?
yeah,
Or
any
is
money
that
that
just
I
I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah any money that I'm bringing in, I'm gonna put towards the next issue because it costs a lot of money to make comics, especially if you're going to use good talent, great artists. It's not cheap. So I just been throwing everything. So any dollar that comes to this campaign is going to go right into the next one, right into Smokes 2. Smokes 2 has a Corey Barton cover right now. I think I showed you a little preview of it a few weeks ago. That cover is done, and I have another cover that I'm working on with a artist pretty much everybody's familiar with, but I'm not gonna say who yet
Ooh, we got
until it's finalized, and and I got it. I want to make sure I want to say something and then not happen or something. But
yeah, yeah.
he gave me a price, and I gave him all the stuff that he needs to do the cover, and we'll see if everything goes well. I should have a cover by the end of the year, another cover for Smokes. And I just got the first 5 pages of Smokes 2 yesterday or a couple days ago. I just got them from my artist, and
Mhm.
those are being shipped to my new inker. Peter Palmiotti is going to be inking issue 2.
Very nice.
He's very
Um,
interested in the character and wants to be a part of the project. So,
I had a quick question about the purple pandas. Is
oh,
that like a lore or anything? Where does that come from?
it came from Mike Barron's brain. Uh, I wanted Smokes to be, to discover weed or whatever, and he decided how he wanted to do that. And then when he finally got high for the first time, he thought it was funny to put that he was seeing purple pandas. So that was all Mike's idea.
That's funny. At first I didn't know if it was some sort of like Grateful Dead, Deadhead reference or anything like that. I'm like, where is this coming from?
That's what it looks like, though. It looks like one of those deadhead, whatever the hell they were. What are
Yeah.
those bears? Deadhead bears,
Yeah.
whatever. Remember,
Yeah.
look like Beanie Babies or whatever.
Beanie
Hey,
Babies
Matt
ripping them
Barr's
off.
here,
He is. I think he's still there. You still there, Matt? Sup?
lurking.
Creeping while you sleeping.
Yeah, it's just something fun that I wanted to do in between my campaigns, some stuff that I wanted to put out that I never got a chance to.
I
Um,
dig it. I really like seeing the creators kind of branch out and get into different types of swag and everything. And I love figures. Like I got the Ethan's Cyber Frog figures. So we go ahead
yeah, it's a tough
and
one. I come out with my figure right after he dropped his figures. You know what I mean? Mine don't hold a candle, but I tried to do the best I
well,
could.
the green screen doesn't like it because it's green, so it just looks like this
Oh yeah, it looks
demonic
weird.
thing. But
It looks weird.
oh god. But you know what? I could get one of those mini comics that you have, and I could have Cyber Frog reading Smokes the Fox.
Yeah, you can. Um, Somebody told me they're gonna paint theirs and like make them like tie dye or something. I don't know what he's talking about. I think
Let
General
me
Piggy said he was gonna paint one of them.
Oh, that'd be nice. Let me see. Give me a second, real quick here. I'm going to try to add Fanta as a moderator. Let's
She's got a
see.
wrench in like so many channels.
And blowers, chat
Everybody
modes and
loves
live.
Fanta.
Will the standard moderator be enough to, I
Yeah,
guess,
just give her the standard.
okay. I'm such a noob.
I don't even know what the other one does. I don't even know what the master moderator has that the other ones don't.
It probably just shuts down your entire stream. It's just like, oh, this isn't going well.
They
Just
can kick
delete,
you.
kick me. Yeah, exactly. All right, Fanta, you should have. Let me see. Do you have your wrench there? Yay, you have the wrench. Awesome. I really appreciate it. Yeah, anyone that could drop the links that'd be most appreciated. So let's see here. And if you would, Fanta, if you could drop the link to this campaign, I normally pin it. I guess I had a senior moment and didn't drop it or pin it to the chat there.
Senior moment.
Let's see. Do a refresh here.
Let's see where we're at here.
653, 19 backers. Dang it! What was it before?
I had, I believe I had 17 backers.
Okay, so yeah, that's great. I wonder if that was from Boob Dan
Yeah, Boob
when
Dan
he.
said he double backed.
Aw, he's a
I
great
put,
guy.
yeah, he's a great guy. He was working on a werewolf book, right? And then he noticed that everybody in CG had their werewolf book coming out. Even I had a werewolf book coming out, and I didn't even, I wasn't intending on putting a werewolf book out. Mike Barron created the idea of the werewolf in my book because he needed, Smokes needed a,
An
villain or whatever.
adversary.
Yeah, and he came up with the wolf with Cheney. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to make this into a comic book, I can't call it Cheney the Werewolf. That's not really a good catchy name. And then I thought about it, and then I like names like Wonder Woman where it has like two of the same letter, like Wonder Woman, two W's, and I was thinking like that, and that's how I came up with weaponized werewolf. I wanted another word that had a W in it,
Yeah,
and I
I
knew
dig
I knew
that.
one of the words was going to be werewolf, so I just had to figure what word would go with it, and I came out with weaponized. And then I showed Mike Barron the cover, and I got the logo made. And then I told Mike, I said, Mike, don't post this cover. It's not ready yet. My comic is way, it's too far behind. Don't, post it yet. I'm not ready to, show anybody yet. It's too early. And what's he do? He goes and posts it the next day
Of
on his
course.
Facebook. And then he tells me, sends me a message. He goes, hey, I posted your cover. Um, Shane likes it. And I was like, Shane who? Shane Black. I was like, I don't know who that is. He goes, yes, you do. He goes like the director of fucking of Predator and
No
Lethal
way.
Weapon.
No
So
way.
he's a friend of Mike's on Facebook, and he said that he liked the book and he was in that he would back the book. But that was because Mike, posted it early, and then my book didn't come out for like another year after that. So I hit up Shane Black on Facebook, and he never got back to me because who knows? He just happened to be on Facebook that day, happened to come across Mike Barron's post, and said he wanted to buy my book, and I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it in his hand. That's what I want. I want
Yeah.
him to check it out. So
Well, you
that
never
was
know.
cool.
I mean, maybe he has it in the back of his mind still. I think this story is really interesting. I could see this as like a show or a movie, something like that. You have the whole kind of government conspiracy concept, the human animal hybrids. I mean, that's like right up there with like the Alex Jones kind of stuff, conspiracy theories,
Yeah, I
and
like how you threw that in your
yeah.
review.
He was always talking about the hybrids and everything. So I was just like, this is
the
perfect.
the gay frogs,
Return of the
water
Frogs
stripping
game.
frogs, gay. You see that music video where they made that music video
Oh my god,
where
yeah.
they took his words and they made it into a song?
There's a couple different ones that are really good. I mean, Alex Jones is the gift that keeps on giving, and I think he addresses a lot of topics that are important and people need to be aware of. Stuff that the government's doing or different entities around the globe. But his personality is so just out there that overshadows the important stuff that he's trying to expose. So I wish sometimes he would kind of tone it down a little bit, but like I said, at least it makes good fodder for YouTube videos and everything. So
And he was the first person they took off social media.
yeah, and then they
I
had
found that a little weird, huh? They took him down.
Alex. What's his name? Not Alex. Was it the Milo Yiannopoulos? He was another one, and that was weird because I thought he would be considered, protected, part of the protected class because he was gay, but and he was really flamboyant about it, but he was conservative. So that was kind of like the nail in his coffin. But yeah, going back to Shane Black, seeing your story, I would really like to,
You just saw the cover. You just saw the black and white cover art of Weaponized Werewolf and the logo, and that was it. And then he
yeah,
said, "Where can I buy this? I'm in." That was it. Just a simple comment. And then I tried to reach out to him like I don't know a couple weeks later, and no response. Who knows? Probably on the set of a movie or something. You know what I mean? Whatever he's doing, he's got better things to do than answer somebody's
reach out
question
to him
from.
now. The actors are striking, so I'm sure he's got a lot of extra time on his hands. Uh,
Yeah, I want to get this book in his hands to see what he thinks.
But
That's pretty
if he
cool, you know.
does reach out, definitely don't let him try to bully you out of some good, like offer you like a little bit of money and just say, here, be happy. Be sure
Take your
you.
$100 and sign
Yeah,
away.
exactly. Yeah,
Like they
you
gave
could.
Superman, whatever the guy who created
Oh,
Superman, they gave him like $100 or whatever it was, $300, something like that.
it kills me that these people come up with great stuff, and unfortunately, they're under the umbrella of some big corporation, and then they just get shafted. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think. What's the last good werewolf movie we've had?
I didn't like any of them. They did one with the guy, what's his name there from Silence of the Lambs. What's his name?
Oh yeah, the remake of the
Wolf.
Wolfman.
Yeah, the Wolf Man. The last good one was with what's his name there? Jack Nicholson
Oh
and
yeah, what
Michelle
was that
Pfeiffer.
called?
It's just called Wolf, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was good. I like the scene where he's kind of trying to exude the alpha male vibe, and he's in the bathroom with the guy, and he just goes over and starts urinating on the guy's
Yeah,
shoe. And I'm just like, oh my god, that's
that movie was epic. I think that was the best, one of the best werewolf movies to come out in
yeah.
recent, and that was what 30 years ago,
It, it's
35
it,
years ago.
it's been a while. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer was still relatively young then. Um, but yeah, I don't know what it was with that. The one with Benicio del Toro, they were trying to, I guess, recapture the magic that they had with Brendan Fraser and The Mummy. Because I heard they wanted to reboot, the whole Universal Monsters franchise, and it was just the CG didn't look right, but even the acting, it was just really the whole thing seemed off. I mean, maybe I need to watch it again and just see, but yeah, I saw it in the theater and I just remember thinking, what the hell is this?
Yeah, but my story, if they did a movie on mine, it would be different because my werewolf doesn't like transform into a
Right,
werewolf.
right.
He's always like that. He's half human, and it's different. He doesn't howl in the moon or anything like that. And later on, he's gonna get weaponized. That's why his name is Weaponized Werewolf.
Are we going to see like I wonder if they would show like the birth, a gruesome birth like that, just a huge kind of claw coming out of the stomach or something, be like
Yeah, the
an
birth of Cheney.
yeah. And yeah, I just like I said, I felt bad for the mother of Fox, the poor thing. But are we going to see more
Sweet
of?
Melissa.
Yeah, are we going to see more of the husband, the cop, ex cop, or
Yeah, John Bauer.
and
Uh,
everyone thinks he had something to do with his wife's
yeah, everybody.
disappearance.
That's everybody. When someone dies, when it's your significant other, they always blame the other spouse. Is always the
The first
especially if it's
suspect.
a murder mystery. It's always it always comes back down to ex boyfriends, the husband, or whatever. It's always you know a crime passion or whatever.
Hmm. Well, to be
Um,
fair, I mean, it kind of it's accurate most of the times if you look at the statistics and everything. So I could see why they would assume that. But man, that would just suck if something happened to your loved one and you're grieving but you're the prime suspect. So that would just be horrible.
she hasn't read it yet. Fanta,
What?
I sent you that like months ago.
Oh, you have to read it. It's quick read. It's fun. Yeah, you'll like it. Did
Yeah,
you
it'll take
get
you
the?
about 20 minutes maybe to read both books, something like that.
Yeah. I'm
25
kind of
minutes.
weird when I read comics. It's like I first have to kind of take the panel in and like I
Uh-huh.
look at the art and then I'm focusing on the words and then sometimes I have to go back a few times. I don't know, maybe I have ADD or something, who knows,
Well,
but
when you read both books, it kind of puts the story together. There's some
yeah,
things that are not told in one, and then when you read the other one, it kind of makes sense. Kind of puts the
true.
story together. Then in issue two, it kind of continues where he left off. Smokes is fighting Cheney, and then that wraps up, and then he gets back on this motorcycle. I don't want to get too much, but he ends up going to college.
Oh, no
Smoke
way.
ends up going to college. I don't know how that happened. It wasn't my idea. That was Mike's, but
Now
he
that's
ends
gonna
up.
be interesting to see how he is able to work his way into college. as a
You'll
as
be
a hi-
amazed how he threw that in there. And then there's gonna be this conflict with two different alien races. It's getting crazy. I don't know, it's way out there. It's just a really good story. People might think it's like this some kind of like Beavis and Butthead kind of like pot humor book.
oh
It's
no.
not like that's not like a Harold and Kumar type thing. The story is very involved. You're going to see in issue two, and Smokes is going to have more of a personality in issue two. He's kind of quiet in the first issue. He just got out. You didn't really see much of his personality
Well, he's like a
yet.
kid, right? He's just
Yeah,
experiencing the
he's just a
world for the
kid.
first time.
Yeah, he's just a teenager. But you can see a little more of his personality in issue two, and more of Cheney and more alien stuff like that. It's a fun read.
I don't know
Um,
if I'm a bigot when it comes to those aliens, but I'm telling you, I just don't trust them.
yeah, who knows what their agenda is?
Yeah, exactly. Coming here with their technology and their weird psychic languages and
Fanta, you want me to read it for you in the back room?
gotta get my mom to read
You gotta
it.
have your mom read it. We can have story time hour.
Yeah, that's something I'm gonna try for Black Riding Hood, but something tells me I'm gonna have to beep every other
Oh, and
word.
I forgot to say, but in the second issue, there's also going to be a new character,
Ooh,
a woman,
a hybrid?
not a hybrid, just a
Okay.
regular female chick who
College
becomes.
co-ed?
She is in college. She becomes friends with Smokes, and she is a toker,
Nice.
but they're not like dating or anything. It's kind of like how Heather Swain has Cyberfrog and they're
Yeah.
friends. It's gonna be like that, or like how April O'Neil has the turtles, like that. Um, get a little bit more sex appeal in Smokes too.
Yeah.
Plus, it's Corey
Sexy,
approved. Corey
you gotta
Barton
have
approved.
oh, Corey Barton can,
Yeah.
yeah, that
So I
was,
had him draw the cover. So he's the first person to draw my new character. Her name is Haley, um, and she rides one of those skateboards. You know what I'm talking about?
not
The
the
one
one
wheel.
wheel, right? Oh, the
Yeah, the
one
one
wheel.
wheel. Yeah,
I
Mike
would
wanted the character to ride a one wheel, so that was his idea.
I would break my neck so quickly. It's not even
People have
funny.
already getting hurt on those. I saw an
Yeah.
article. They took them off the market. Some of them, I guess, because they were people were getting hurt.
Did you ever see that video of, Doug TenNapel, that, the Earthworm Jim creator, riding around on his one wheel like a pompous asshole?
No, no, I haven't.
He's just going
Uh,
through his rich neighborhood, riding around, like, talking to us plebs. Uh, he's an interesting fellow. Let's put it at that.
yeah, he's very interesting guy. I've seen people like out here in Denver. I've seen him like once in a while. You see a guy riding one, like walking their dog, riding one.
Yeah. Oh my God, walking their dog and riding one.
Yeah, so like the dog can like move pretty quickly, and they can just sit there and just chill and just hold the leash.
Uh, I don't know.
Isn't the point of
I
walking the dog to get exercise?
That's what I thought, but yeah, you see a lot of people on bicycles and stuff. I don't know. I've seen them on regular skateboards, but one wheels. I don't know. I did. Do you have those bird scooters that you can rent out in Colorado? I don't know.
Yeah, we have those e-scooters and they're everywhere.
Yeah, we had them here in my town of Pensacola, and they got rid of them really quick because people
Oh,
were
did they?
just, yeah, people were crashing through the windows of businesses and stuff like that. They would just leave them at like the dumbest spots. It's like, come on, people, what does it take
Oh,
just to
yeah, they're
put
all
it?
over the place. You'll see them on the corner just laying on the ground, laying on
Yeah,
on somebody's lawn in front of their house, or just by some bus stop, or just they're just everywhere, kinda like grocery carts or whatever. People just leave them
yeah.
everywhere.
It's unbelievable. But the husband and I went out and were riding those a few times, and I swear to God, they can program it where if they don't want you to go down a certain street, that the scooter will just stop, and then you just kind of have to lug it.
Really?
And yeah, it's almost like it's locked. You're just sitting there trying to move the damn thing until you manually cross the road and get out of that restricted area. But we were getting ready to head back to where we had parked to originally go ride them, and the thing just, I don't know what happens to it, but it's like becomes possessed. It's like the North Koreans took a hold of it for a few moments and just shot it forward. I'm sitting here trying to brake, like what the hell?
I never
So
rode one of those.
I was like, after that, I'm like, screw this. That so they got rid of the bird scooters, and now they have the bird, e-bikes, or maybe it's not bird, maybe it's another brand, but um, I don't know. They just don't have the same effect for me. It's like I can ride a regular bike. I don't need a motor in my bike. Otherwise, I would just ride a motorcycle. Crazy times for sure.
I don't get it. I see people ride doubles on those too.
On the e-bikes or on
Like,
the
on the
scooters?
scooters.
Craziness.
Yeah, it saves you money instead of renting 2 scooters, you just hold on.
Hey, like we were saying earlier, times are tough, right? People got to save
Yeah.
money where they can. So let's see where we are
They, like,
here.
lowered the price of, RTD out here. You can ride, like, the, light rail, whatever we have out here for, like a buck or 2. It's not very expensive.
You said you're in Colorado,
Yeah, in Denver.
Denver. Oh wow, I went there once. Um, God, like forever ago, 20 years ago, for a convention, and it was a nice city to walk around. But I
Comic
imagine
books?
it's no, no. This was in college. They had us going out there for a conference. Boring, but
Oh.
at least we could walk around and kind of scope the city out for a little bit in the evening time.
It's
How
alright. It's kinda like a small town feel for a city.
is
It's, like,
it? Has
populated
it
too.
become crazy like some of the
Homeless
blue
people.
states? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, the homeless is getting out of hand, especially downtown. They kinda let it, get out of hand, and they let it slide, and just let these communities just pop up. People can just put a tent anywhere and just start living there. It's kinda crazy. They don't do anything really about it. They're even handing money to them.
that is just unbelievable.
Yeah, and then they got so bad where they're hanging out in front of all the businesses downtown where the people don't wanna go to the businesses because there's a bunch of homeless people hanging out front, and then the businesses close down because they lose a lot of revenue. People don't go downtown anymore.
Yeah, and then it just becomes a vicious kind of circle there. I let's see. Oh, real quick question before I get into what I was going to say here. Fanta wants to know if the Keshi Dreams is going to go into in demand. I think you said earlier that you were going to extend it another 30 days.
Yeah, I'm extend it another 30 days, then it's probably gonna go in demand, and, I have to buy, like, sets of my figures from my printer, so I can't just order, like, one of one color or whatever. I have to buy, like, sets of 5, so if I want a blue figure or whatever, I have to buy at least 5 of them.
Oh
So I'll
wow.
have extras, so I'll be in demand for a little bit while I'm working on, issue 2.
Is that something you might offer as well? Like when the Smokes 2 comes out, you can kind of have that as an add-on.
Yeah, it's just gonna be, hard to ship them together. It's just, sending comic books out with these figures is just not gonna happen in the same package,
Mm.
so they'd have to be shipped kinda separately. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. How about shirts or anything? Do you ever plan to delve
Uh,
into? I know that can get like really kind of tricky with the orders and everything.
it'd be cool to make T-shirts. I haven't. I made a, what's it called? A neck gaiter. It's not a COVID mask or whatever, but it's like a just a neck gaiter. It wasn't even considered a mask during the epidemic or whatever,
Yeah.
pandemic. But you couldn't even wear that as a mask or whatever. It wasn't considered. In some places, it wasn't considered a mask or whatever, a neck gaiter.
Yeah,
But
you'd wear it like when you go fishing or doing an outdoor sport, something like that.
yeah, so I put the Gerhard cover where he's peeing on the tree. I put that I put that on the mask, so you have that on your face. You have a fox peeing on it. It's kind of like reminds
Yeah.
me of that Calvin and Hobbes
Yeah,
sticker.
yeah. Where he's always peeing on something like a Ford or Chevy or a
Yeah,
rival
that wasn't
comic.
even my idea. That my editor came up with that. He's like, you got to add something funny in this scene. How about he's peeing on a tree? And then we added that scene, and then I liked that scene. I thought it was funny that I used that scene for the cover. So.
Yeah,
That's how that happened.
I got the other cover, but yeah, I might have to snag this one too to later. I like how the bear in the background's just kind of like, what? And then the owl's there, kind of like, come on, are you for real?
The way this cover came about is Gerhard. He did this other cover. He's from Canada, and he did a Wolverine first appearance, kind of like tribute, but he changed it a little bit and like put all the Canadian animals in the background. He had all these Canadian. I forgot what kind of animals they were, but they're a bunch of different birds and stuff. And I saw that print that he had on his table, and then I remembered that, and I said, "Hey, for my cover, I'm gonna ask him to draw Colorado animals." But since this is a night scene, it had to be like nocturnal animals. So I looked it up
Right.
online, what animals are in Colorado, and then the black bear came up, and the horned owl, stuff
Now,
like
is
that.
this a fox back here, or is that like a coyote?
Yes,
It
yeah,
is a fox.
that's like a red fox.
And then you got this poor bird here that's like, "Hey, I was gonna use those twigs for my nest."
Yeah, he kind of crammed. Originally, that was going to be a wraparound cover,
Mhm.
and just didn't get a chance to do it. Didn't have the time to do it, so we just decided to make it just a regular cover. And I told him, to put as many animals as he could fit in there. So he did put a bunch. There's some bats up above. There's animals everywhere on that cover.
Yeah. Yeah, the bats here. I think that's one over there. Is that a
Some
blackbird?
kind of bird, some kind of night bird. I don't know what I get. Something a bunch of bird examples, and I don't know which one's which for those, but
The look though on the bear
yeah,
and
the
then the
black bear is
owl,
my
it's
favorite.
priceless.
Yeah, that's my favorite. And the look of Smokes, like he's looking at you, like you catching him peeing. Why you looking at me? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you caught me. Just the
Yeah,
expression. That's what
he's
I was
just a
looking for.
teenager, kinda like doing his own thing. You're like, "Hey, what are you all up in my
This is
business?"
exactly how I wanted him to look. The style that I was going for.
Mhm.
A lot of artists don't seem to get it when it comes to my character. They either make him too cartoonish, like Tails from like Sonic,
Oh, yeah.
or they make him too realistic, like a real looking fox head, like an actual fox, like the fox in the background there.
Yeah.
So they either go one way or the other, but they don't really go for what I'm looking for. So I'll send a model sheet to somebody, and then they'll just go off on their own and do their own thing.
Go off on their own tangent.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
understand
dig
people
it.
want to put their own spin on the character, but I don't know. Everybody seems to get Cyber Frog. I mean, everybody understands that character. He always looks the same, but I don't know. I guess he's kind of hard to nail or whatever. My character or whatever.
Well, I think maybe once you get a couple issues into it, maybe people get a better feel for the vibe of Smokes, so,
Need some more
um
examples.
yeah, yeah. And his personality, that I guess understanding the character's personality kinda helps with understanding kind of their design, how they would look.
Originally he's supposed to be grumpy. I don't know if I'm still gonna go with that, but that's why he was just supposed to be grumpy all the time and
What, like teenage angst kinda thing?
just rebellious teenager
Yeah.
who
Well,
hates
God,
the
the poor
government.
kid's been locked up in that facility for all of his life, so, yeah, he'd be a little bit grumpy.
Yeah, and then he's got a killer werewolf on his tail once he gets out.
But maybe Haley will kind of touch his heart and soften it a little bit, who
Yeah, he
knows?
needed a friend, and I think we need a female character to be added to the book, and I think it's going to bring a lot more to the book. I think you
Yeah,
guys are going to like it.
I'm looking
Um,
forward to that.
Corey Barton really knocked it out of the park, with the cover. He took my artist Lee Oakes is the artist of Smokes. He did all the character model sheets for pretty much all the characters in Weaponized Werewolf and Smokes,
Mhm.
and he did Haley. I gave him a description, how she was going to look like and everything, but and then Corey Barton took that and then like made her like sexier, enhanced her breast.
Their Kozar, the ladies in that were very sexy.
Yeah, he didn't disappoint. It looks kind of like a '90s image cover.
Yeah. That's
it's
like
got like a
one of
lot
the
of 90s
things
flavor.
I was griping on. I did like a little, quick little video about 5 or so days ago about how they changed Mary Jane for the new Spider-Man game. And it's like
I didn't see that.
I don't understand. Like they made her look like a 40 something year old woman. I think she's supposed to be about 23, 24 because
Redhead.
Peter's yeah, about that age. She looked okay in the first game. But it and the model who plays her is just drop dead gorgeous. And it's like, why couldn't you do that? Why did you have to kind of frump her up and kind of make her eyes puffy and take away some of that definition from her cheeks and everything? Um, yeah, and then I'm playing the game, the first hour of it, and I'm just getting hit over the head left and right with woke BS. Um, but I'm ignoring it because I love the mechanics in Spider-Man so much, and I love the fighting mechanic in the game. Um, it's just like I can't put it down, but my God, every time there's like a piece of woke in there, my eye just starts rolling in the back of my head.
Last time I played a Spider-Man game, I think it was for Genesis, and you had to
Oh wow.
like go around, take pictures and stuff.
Yeah, you do take pictures in this. But yeah, they're doing their best switching between Miles Morales and Peter Parker. But Peter Parker is Spider Man. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. I wish they would give him his own name. But it's so weird because you have Peter Parker, when they're going around trying to save people and they're teaming up together. You have him calling Miles like Spider Man, Spider Man. I'm like, oh,
Did
it's
you see
driving
the
me
new
nuts.
Spider-Man where there's like 10 of them or whatever? All the old Spider-Mans come back from all the
Uh,
different.
is that you talking about Into the Spider Verse or?
Yes, or whatever. The one, yeah, the one where it has like Toby Maguire and
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Spider-Man.
The what was that one called? Yeah, that it was a lot of
Um,
nostalgia bait. I did enjoy it, but I knew that the reason I was enjoying it was because it was, kind of feeding on my feelings of nostalgia. Um, I thought they did it pretty well, but I've never really been a fan of Tom Holland's take on Spider-Man. He was always just too kind of ADD for me.
yeah, I like
and
Toby the best.
Yeah. Toby was like he a little awkward, but I think he, kind of got Peter Parker and maybe he could have used a little more quips when he was dressed up as Spider-Man and fighting the villains, but he's my favorite. Maybe
I
it's
like
because he's my first. I don't know.
yeah, I like the Kirsten Dunst, Mary Watson or whatever, Mary
Yeah, Mary
Jane.
Jane Watson. Yeah. I wonder why that scene probably captured your attention where she was in the rain and
Yeah, she just did a perfect. I think she was a perfect fit for the role, and then they go
Mhm.
and change it. After I don't get it.
Yeah, it's like they have the groundwork there for so many of the superheroes, and the movie studios just they take what they're given on a silver platter, and it's like they just spit on it.
Oh, Shadowpunk.
Oh, hey, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Shadowpunk. I mean, getting that compliment from him is a big deal. Did you ever see his sculpts?
I have
They're
not seen the sculpts. I've seen his comic and everything with it. I love the coloring in it, that whole cyberpunk feel and everything.
Yeah, my friend Oscar designed the smokes. He spent months developing the pose and stuff. I don't know. He just nailed it. And you got the model. This looks exactly like the model sheet. Caught the proportions.
Yeah, here let's
Everything came out.
have it big there. Yeah, yeah, the gray one here holding the RPG.
The gray one, I think, gives you could see the most detail in it.
Yeah, it probably catches the shadows a little bit better there. Whereas the translucent one, just because of its very nature of being translucent, it doesn't really catch the shadows as much. But yeah, like I said, I still like the green and the blue one. I think the colors are really cool. I might have to just get one of each.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Blue is my favorite, but I haven't printed them yet. So the blue one yet. So I'm gonna have. I don't know how many how many I'm gonna have to make, but at least 5 figures for my first print run of those. And then I have like 25 chips, poker chips. The only way to get the poker chip is to back a bundle. So you
Hmm.
can't buy that. That's the only thing that you can't get as an add-on. So it only comes in the bundle because I don't have that many of them.
Yeah, that's the Armory bundle here, the featured tier.
Yeah, so any bundle that you get will come with that chip. And then you get the pin with the bundle and you get the mini comic. And then if you get the 4 inch, you get the tin and the magnet. And if you get the 2 inch, you just get the collector's box.
Yeah, I'm glad you cleared that up about the what was it, the display, because I was kind of confused. I'm like, what's the difference between this and
Um,
that? So
yeah,
so
there's no, it doesn't hold a weapon. That's it.
okay.
I wasn't gonna offer them. Then I was like, well, maybe I already have them printed. Maybe somebody might want one because put it next to their other figures, whatever. Um, but I don't know. I think the ones with the weapons are cooler. You know what I mean? I wasn't
Yeah.
sure, so I just threw them on there in case anybody wanted one. But
Yeah, I'll tell you that mini comic, I don't know why it just speaks to me. The detail in it
yeah, she did
and
a
the
great job. It's double sided, so it's the same image on both sides.
oh, cool. Yep, the keychain. I like your logo too. Did you design that or did you have somebody design that for you?
Originally I was in the music business. I had a small record label called Belmont Records,
Hmm.
and I put out I think 4 or 5 albums, mostly like indie hip hop stuff.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
one one of my artists made it to Netflix. He was featured. One of his songs was featured on like Women Incarcerated season 2 or something, season 3, episode 6 in the background or something. And I don't know. I just put out some fun albums with some of my friends, and we got some good guest appearances like Wu Tang and stuff on some songs and stuff like that.
Whoa.
And Cannabis. I don't know if you're familiar with Cannabis. He's a rapper. I got him on a song. And I just put out a lot of some albums, and the stress of the music business is just off the charts. I can't even explain to you
Because of the
what you have to do.
competition or
Just everything. Everybody wants to be your best friend. Because you put out somebody's album, everybody else expects you to put out all their albums or their album. I got people like just hitting me up like around the clock, sending me their demos. Just a lot of you pay somebody and then they don't do your verse, then you're like begging them to fucking do their work that you paid them
mm.
for. And then I said, well, I'm gonna get out of the music business and I'm gonna do comics. And this is the same shit here, you know what I mean? It's more stressful probably in comics than the music business, I'd say.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think anything that involves art or like the artistic world, whether it be, comics or in acting or in the music business, there's I don't know, I think there has to be like a certain type of mentality, to an artist, almost like a not like a arrogance, but a confidence. And then sometimes, if there's somebody else that clashes with them,
Oh, they
you
don't
know,
get along. It's just like
yeah,
artists. It's just another form of an artist. Someone just asked if it's talking about Belmont, like Dion and the
yeah,
Belmonts.
yeah. Baz
No,
was asking.
that record label went out of business. The original Belmont Records or whatever that was, and there was a band called the Belmonts as well. I think there's a new band called Belmont, just
Hmm.
regular, just straight up Belmont. I saw a video, but the name Belmont Records wasn't taken, and I bought the website, and I had that website for like I don't know, 10 years or something, 8 years, and I was just in the music business, and I just got burnt out of it really quick.
Yeah.
I had A&Rs following me from different labels, and then one day I was like popular, and then the next day they just stopped following me, and that was it. So you get like you're like in the spotlight for a few seconds, you get your like 15 seconds of fame, and then like that's it.
Yeah.
So it's
Once
hard to
once
keep a
they
buzz
can't
going.
once they can't use you anymore, it's like, all right, I don't have any need for you.
Well, you have to constantly put out good content, new music, and which costs a lot of money. And then putting all these music videos, I was making a lot of music videos, and they're not cheap. Even like the low end, it costs 400 or 500 bucks to even do a low budget music video with no, special effects or anything.
I
Just like,
believe it.
and so that takes a lot of budget. And then most people are just ripping off your albums or just downloading them for free. And that's why I was weary about making a digital tier for my comic, because I got people, they're already downloading my CDs for free, all my albums for free, so I don't make any money, and then I can't, stay in business. I don't know. You got to just keep your buzz going, and then once my buzz stopped, all the A&Rs just stopped following me, and that was it. And
Hmm.
I just threw in the towel, and I was just done with the music business. But the logo was Belmont Press, and it looked just like that. But
Yeah, I like how clean it is. Like for me, I like something that's simple, clean, just kind of catches your eye. And it does. Now that you mention the music aspect, it almost has like a
a note.
note. Yeah,
Yeah, a music note. And then I wanted to reuse it, since I was like, well, I already have this logo, and I told my letterer Kurt Hathaway, and he just took out the records and just changed it to press.
nice.
Then he put that line in the background, whatever, that line that connects the B and goes around it. He added that, yeah, that
Yeah,
line, that rounded, yeah.
kind of
That was
ties it
it.
together. Yeah, it
Yeah, he just
works.
added that one thing and just put press on it, and I said, "Yeah," because I don't wanna spend another 200 bucks or whatever designing another logo, and it's just repurpose.
Yeah, put that money into your book. That's where it counts, right?
But, yeah, there's a lot of cost involved in making your first book that you don't have to worry about on your second book, like logo creation and stuff like that.
I really appreciated you putting my little short review.
Yeah, it's a great review, and it's under a minute. It gets right to the point, and it's entertaining, and it kinda describes everything.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
fun. Definitely had
it
fun
was
reading these comics for
it cracks
sure.
me up every time I watch that, when I see the Alex Jones,
What is my problem?
yeah, you're killing
uh,
me on that one. I love
yeah,
that, video.
yeah, he kills me too. Just cracks me up. So yeah, that about wraps it up here for me.
Yeah.
Let's take one more look over the campaign. We'll go over the tiers one more time. Let's refresh that there. Okay, so again, we have the bundle, and you were saying that any of the bundles will come with the cool little poker chip there. And I don't know if we mentioned that while we were on the stream, but you were telling me that this is etched. It's not a sticker, so we don't have to worry about that. Um,
Yeah, it's laser etched, into the chip, and it's double-sided. It's got that drawing right there is drawn by Gerhard. It was the original model sheet for Smokes. I had Gerhard help me redesign the Smokes from my original sketches, and that's the sketch that he came up with. It was originally penciled, and then Rodney Ramos inked it, and then I had DC Alonso, my colorist for issue one, color it, and I used it and repurposed it and made it the cover for the poker chip.
yeah, that looks good. Almost like one of those. What do they call the coins?
Oh,
The co-
challenge coin.
yeah, the challenge coins that the military hands out. Kind of
Yeah, those are
reminiscent
cool.
of
I
that.
always wanted to make one of those too. That's on my wish list. One of these
I
days I'll
can't
make
imagine those things are cheap. They got to be
No, they're not. They're
expensive.
expensive. Very expensive. These poker chips aren't too bad. They're,
Does it have like a nice weight to it?
yeah, it's made out of clay, I believe. It's just like a poker chip. They're made in Vegas. They're printed in Vegas. It's got the same feel. And they had different colors to pick from. And I thought green went the best with my
Mhm.
character. They had
Yeah,
like
because you get
red.
the army, you
Yeah.
get kind of the army vibe, and then of course with the weed green.
Yeah, so I thought the
That
green and his uniform kind of goes with it. They had like a red chip, a yellow, a orange, whatever. I thought the green one went the best.
yeah,
And then I got these cases, so the case you can put the figure next to the chip, stand them next to each other or whatever on your shelf if you wanted to. It comes with a little stand. You don't have to use a stand if you don't want to, or just keep it in the capsule. It's got like an
Hmm.
airtight capsule, so it doesn't change color on you or whatever. I don't know what these
Oh yeah,
chips
like
do.
a maybe UV kind of coating or something on it.
Yeah, I never had a chip. I never kept a casino chip for years. I don't know what happens to these chips, but they're made out of clay, just like the ones you get at a casino.
Yeah, very nice. And then of course we had your digital bundle here for anyone like say our overseas backers who maybe don't want to spend the money on shipping.
Yeah, I'm only offering smokes in Canada and the U.S. for both of my campaigns
Hmm.
because the shipping is just too much, man.
Yeah, I was hearing what Ethan was having to pay to ship his stuff, and
He
I
loses
felt
money.
yeah, it's like you're paying people to buy your book. Let's see. Then we have the armory, which is, as we discussed, just the hole in the fist so he can hold the weapon. The 2-inch gray, then the 2-inch green. The display
Just the
ones
bare
were
bones, just a figure in the box. Yeah.
yeah, and that's the one that's the featured tier.
I wasn't sure what I was gonna make the featured tier. I was like, well, the blue one's cool. And then I was like, I don't know, maybe I should make the middle. And I decided to make the gray bundle the featured tier. I changed my mind like 4 times.
It
So
could be hard, when you're trying to decide like how to pair everything, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And then the I really like the blue figure, the 4-inch
yeah,
one.
yeah, I can't wait to get that printed. I want to see what he looks like. So I had to kind of like I had to like do that in Photoshop. You know what I mean? I had to look at another person's figure that was printed out in blue,
Oh
and
wow.
then I had to like match it to make it look like it's because I didn't get it even printed yet, but it's gonna look similar to that. I tried to capture the translucent, but that was all done in Photoshop. So
I
I
wouldn't
just
have known until you told
yeah, I
me.
took the green one and I modified it. You could change the hue or whatever on your
Yeah.
layer. So I just messed with the hue until I got it the bluish color, and then I changed the brightness on it to make it look a little bit more transparent. So that's how I did that. So I don't have that printed yet, so I don't really know how he's going to turn out, but it's going to look something like that.
I definitely want to see when that comes in. I'd like to see you post
Yeah,
on
then I'll
the
add it to the campaign. Once I have it printed, I can add it to the campaign. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
But
All right. Well, do you have anything that you would like to impart to anyone watching before we uh, head out tonight?
no, just thanks for having me on. I appreciate all your support and your videos that you made. Your
Oh,
review
thank you.
video was like my favorite. Um, I just like what you're doing. You're promoting the scene. You're promoting all us small creators, and I really appreciate that you do that. A lot of people don't offer their channel to creators. It's hard as a creator because if you ask somebody to be on their channel, they might have you on their channel, but then they expect you to always be in their chat and to be a
Hmm.
part of their channel. But as a creator, you got so much going on that you've been on so many shows that it's hard to be everywhere all at once. But I try to jump in as many chats as I can when I'm available. But some people might think that's disrespectful. Oh, yeah, I was on your show, but you never came in the chat ever again. So that stuff does happen, you know what I mean? Then you might hit up somebody and try to get on their show again. They're like, well, they'll ghost you because you never like hung out as much in on their channel or whatever. But
Well,
um,
I definitely appreciate all the indie creators. I know it's not easy, and for me, I have a lot of respect for someone that has a vision and a dream, and they take a risk and go out and just do it. So I like Comicsgate. I like our community. I want to do anything that I can to help support and promote the creators there. And you can lurk in the chat, or just not say anything or catch it on the replay. I promise I won't be I
no,
won't
but
be
I
hurt.
understand how what the thinking is behind it.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you having me on and
Yeah,
all
for
the other
sure.
creators. And before you were just doing the regular videos and not really doing live stuff. But
It's kind of hard because before when I was streaming with 80s, he's controlling everything, and it's a lot more that you kind of have to pay attention to when you're streaming and the chat. And I apologize, chat. I haven't really been focusing you on you that much this evening, but I will try to get better at that. But yeah, it's a lot more involved when you're actually running the show. So
Yeah, that's why I
um,
do my show with good stuff because we can share the controls.
yeah,
I'm
I
doing the highlighting of the comments while he's doing most of the talking and the intros and stuff, and then I'm just out there. So we kind of have a system, but yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to engage with the chat, and
right
meanwhile change the angles, changing cameras, zoom in on things, ask questions, stuff like that. It's a lot of work, and especially if you never did too many live shows on your own. It takes a little bit of time before you get used to everything. Even when you are used to it,
for
you're gonna
sure.
mess up once in a
Yeah.
while or
Yep,
whatever.
Murphy's Law, right? But yeah, it is just like juggling, a bunch of plates or, batons or something in the air. So it's kind of crazy, but everyone's been really supportive and I really appreciate it. My channel is slowly growing and that means a lot to me because, that this is fun. I really like doing it. I like reviewing everything and, I just want to keep doing more of it and bringing more creators on. Like I said, I have mad respect for indie creators, and I wouldn't even know where to begin to do something like that. So you guys, um, just like I said, mad respect.
Yeah, we love reviews. Us creators, we that's nothing you can do better than a review. It's one
Yeah.
thing to buy your comic, but a review is what you really want.
I got a good feedback too, and I didn't even realize that I was doing it, but someone gave me some good feedback when I did the video for Joe Frankenstein. And I really enjoyed the books, but I think I got so wrapped up in just talking about the story that I didn't really comment all that much on the art and the story itself. And somebody was saying, we would like to know if it's a standalone story or this or that. So, yeah, I appreciate that feedback. If anybody has something that they would like me to add to my reviews that they think would be helpful, I would really appreciate that as well. But I'm new to comics. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I'm dropping a lot of money on them. My wallet
Yeah, they're
is,
not cheap to make or to buy.
yeah, and I realize that costs of everything are going up. And if you want good quality, if you don't want that crap that they're trying to shovel in your face in the stores, then you got to pony up and pay for it a little bit. But yeah, thank you so much, Justin, for
Thank
agreeing to
you.
be on the show. I really appreciate it. We'll keep an eye on your campaign here, and I hope we get some more backers here because I think this is really cool, and I'd like to see more of these figurines in the future.
Yeah, there's a
Uh,
few people that made them. What's his name? Eric was making some in the community. Eric
yeah.
Huckles. He's been making the Keshis. I think he did one for Andy Smith, First Man,
Oh,
I
really?
believe.
Nice.
He did a bunch of them. He does a really good job on those sculpts. They're just fun thing to do. You know what I mean? Now the technology's here. We can do streams. We can promote online. We
Yeah.
can, crowd fund our books. Now we can make our own little figures. Um, who knows? Maybe one day I'll make a cool, figure like Ethan has with the Cyber Frog, like with a big budget or
Yeah, you
whatever.
never know. And maybe Shane Black will get back to you, you never know. The
Yeah,
sky's the
I'm
limit.
trying to get a hold of him. He's not going to be easy, but I want to send him a comic book.
Just keep doing it. Like you said with Mike Barron, you just never know until you keep asking.
The
So
worst he could have said was no.
yeah, exactly. And what, are you gonna keel over and die? But yeah.
But I'm sure he gets asked that a lot. Will you write my
Yeah.
book or whatever? And
Well, I
you,
think it goes to show that you had a proven concept there that, he noticed it and wanted to get on board. So that was definitely, I would say, like a compliment there to your idea as well.
yeah, it gave me a lot of energy. Just that one comment by Shane Black gave me a lot of energy and a lot of motivation.
For sure.
Because it was early on in the beginning of making the books, so I'm like, wow, that I already got interest from a director in Hollywood, and I haven't even put out a book yet. I mean, things are going well. So I it gave me a lot of motivation to work on my book harder and spend a lot of time developing. I did not, I didn't cheap out anywhere. I
Yeah.
got the guy who was best for the job, and I got the good paper. I didn't get the cheap quality stock paper. I look for, I want a good quality comic book too. I'm a collector.
Yeah.
I know what I'm looking for,
You
and I
want
know what
something
other.
that you would be proud to, to show on your
Yeah,
shelf. So, yeah, I get you. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to the chat, Fanta. Thank you for allowing me to wrench you. I appreciate all the help I can get. Great to see everyone here.
Shadow
Shadow
Punk,
Punk, yeah, Ray, Baz,
Boob Dan, double
Boob
backer.
Dan, yep, Matt Barr,
Yeah,
all of
Matt
you. Thank
Bars,
you.
Ray.
Anyone I missed, the love is still there. So thank you all. And thank you again, Justin. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. All right. And if you want to hang out for a few minutes afterwards, we will chat and everything. All right. I'll see everyone later. I'll see you hopefully next week. Bye.
I've had enough. Gargoyles, psychics, everything's ungodly. Dork's at it.
I'm glad you're home.
Get the hell out of my house. In Jesus' name, I pray.